What's going on, YouTube? It's the Waaaggghh Workshop with James from Shyhammer Fantasy. And I know I got all these bright lights going on back here, but I've literally just finished the Gauntlet yesterday. It was a blast. I'm going to show you guys this. Boom. I actually got the best painted army. I mean, competition was like 8 people, so I'm still proud of it though. And then on top of that, one of the prizes was the actual Gauntlet. This thing's actually badass. I'm gonna put it on right now during the rest of this video. But no, I can't do it through the rest of the video. I wanted to show you guys some stuff. Oops, wrong arm. During the Gauntlet, thing's badass. During the Gauntlet, I actually had a buy game. I know this is going to be a spoiler because you guys haven't even seen the videos yet, but I had a buy game, and then I had a game against Josh, which was a rematch, and then I also had a game against my brother, which was the last round. It was only three games. I wanted to get 5 games in, but we couldn't really pull off a 2-dayer, especially since today's the Super Bowl. Yeah, good luck with that one. What ended up happening was I had a couple. I really feel like with the 3,000 point lists, I had a very solid unit with the Squigs. Squigs are freaking ridiculously strong. Dread really impressed me. Dread actually was probably the most solid character I had on the table. Chickenhead didn't get to do as much as Chickenhead normally does. And I think that's because the people I played against anticipate Chickenhead and know how to handle him. And then the A-Rock was a threat the whole time. The Forest Goblins did pretty good. Unfortunately, they kind of got squashed in both rounds of combat that they got into. And then the regular goblins, the cave goblins with the Waaaggghs and the nets, they let me down. They let me down big time. I mean, I let them down, to be honest. I put in Josh's game. I put them in a bad positioning. I didn't see it coming, but they got flanked, and they just get destroyed when they're flanked. They're goblins, man. And then the game against my brother, they ended up getting crushed as well. I'm not gonna go into too much detail on what happened, so you guys get a little bit surprised when you see it happen. So they were one of the units I was looking at, kind of like, people know how to handle Waaaggghs, and then people know how to handle, they don't do anything with their strength 3 bows, really, and then the only reason I really kind of keep them is for a bunker for the level 2 Shaman. So, that's one of the units I'm looking at to revising. And then the other one is, the Giant was garbage. Everybody tells me the Giant's garbage. The Giant is garbage. It's kind of fluffy. I just kind of bring him just for the hell of it. I was hoping that I might have actually got a use out of him just for the hell of it. And during both games, he was just in bad positioning, bad matchups, and he's kind of just like, eh. So, right now I'm going to get ready for Oakan, and in Oakan, it's 2,400 points. So now I have to drop a 3,000 point army down to 2,400. So the Giant is the first guy to get the boot. Sorry, Giant. We'll miss you. And I have to learn how to shave off a good chunk of points. The Dragon Rammer is another one that I'm probably going to drop down out of it just because point costs. He's kind of a fluffy piece for me too. He looks better than what he does. And then the other thing is my level 4. I usually take level 4 with the Backlash Scroll. I'm probably going to have to drop him to like a level 2, which isn't a huge disadvantage. I do lose 2 spells with him, and I'm going to lose 1 spell with my Shadow because I'm going to switch the book over to the other guy. So I'm really just losing 2 spells in total out of like 6 or 7 spells, which usually I'm sitting there like looking at all the cards I made, trying to figure out like, oh man, I got so many spells, what do I do? But I do like that option, and that's one thing that's kind of bugging me, is I want to keep that option around. That's probably my brother right now. Anyways, so a couple things to continue on with my Goblin character Obsession. Okay, I gotta take this off to show you this though. With my Goblin character Obsession, I'm gonna go ahead and redo Longshot. And like I promised you guys, I have Longshot coming up right here. This is Longshot, and as you can see, it's a Goblin with a shotgun. Now, the one thing, right there, the one thing I'm having a problem with is I ran out of primer. So there was somebody on one of my YouTube videos, they asked about how do I do my green skin colors, and I will gladly show you guys how many different greens I use for different green skins. But unfortunately, I ran out of primer. This guy is like partially primed. I didn't even get underneath the wolf. The wolf has like gray all over, or metal showing all over him, especially since they're metal. I mean, this guy's all metal. It's going to be, it's going to chip and paint and stuff. So I need to wait till the primer comes in. And then it's also what I said on the YouTube report, which was that you can't buy spray cans here in Chicago. It's illegal. So just too many graffiti artists here. So that's one of my issues. The other thing I was thinking about doing after the game with my brother, actually after a couple of the game with Josh and then the game with my brother, I do like Chickenhead having a 2-up armor save. I'm contemplating dropping, I know this is like blasphemy right now, I'm dropping Chickenhead for another character. Now, that being said, it's also because I have a lower point like to play with. So I was playing with the idea of how to get a 1-up armor Goblin on a Spider Rider. Now, I could do it with the Gigantic Spider, but the thing is, we all know King Koopa sucks. King Koopa really sucks. And it's not even his gear or anything. He can have the same exact gear that Chickenhead does. He just sucks outright, and it's just his rolls with him. So, I've decided to make another character with a monstrous cavalry-sized base that will take place of Chickenhead / Koopa, and this will be my new character. Again, this is just to go through my Goblin obsession, my Goblin character obsession. This is, I haven't really came up with his name yet. I was thinking about calling him Hades, or I don't know, but he's on a 3-headed dog from Titan Forge. Let me see if I can get. And you can see that was the guy. I showed you him in one of my first videos with the scythe. And I had to cut the rope off. I had to green stuff a little bit on him too. I had to cut the rope off so I could put some, I'm going to put chain coming down from his hand down to the dogs. The dogs actually have chain all over their neck too. You can't see it because it's just prime right now. But this character kind of fits in the same role. I was going back and forth on this. Chickenhead on the wolf has speed, has one of the best speeds in the game right now. He is a 9, so he can move 18. He gets a Vanguard, he jumps right at the gun in the beginning of the game. Chickenhead on a Spider still gets Scout or Vanguard or both. I don't know how that works with both. But his speed is lowered by 7, or by 2, so it'll be a 7 versus a 9, so he only marches 14. And I've noticed that does matter sometimes. It does matter a lot, actually. But with Koopa, he is on the Gigantic Spider, and this guy right here, he's going to be technically a Gigantic Spider, even though it's a 3-headed dog. They're going to be at movement 7 as well, with no Vanguard. So that is going to be the cost of this character. The character, all the stat line is the same. It's a Goblin character, and then you could give him whatever magic gear you want to give him. And then, like I said, I want to try to get him to a 1-up armor, so he has to have like the Dragon Helm or the Hard Shield. And if Dread has the Hard Shield, he'll probably have the Dragon Helm. So, but this character is just kind of filling that role to, I mean, with the monstrous mount, at least he'll get 3 extra attacks. They're poison attacks. He'll get a stomp, and then, but the huge thing is he actually keeps that friggin' that 1-up armor. And as long as I don't give him the Bane Beast Halberd, he'll be able to use a magic weapon and a shield and still have a 1-up armor. And that's what I'm really trying to make the guy for, just to have that utility character who is like armor's pretty beefy. I know somebody could just shoot him with like a strength 10 item or whatever, but that's also shots going towards him and not my general or my A-Rock. So, anyways, that was all. That's what I wanted to show you guys. I am working on potentially adding more to him. I mean, he does have some armor bits that go on him already. This is actually the Titan Forge. I forgot, it's like a special character with the three-headed dog. But I have bits for my Gorgon model, which are just awesome. And I'm just trying to figure out how to get him on. I might have to just like butcher it on there somehow so that he has like some crazy horn things going on him. The other thing, oh, that's interesting too. See, I'm just playing with that. The other thing I got is, since I have that Gorgon model, I have all the arm pads, which could go easily as shoulder pads or arm pads on the arms of the three-headed dog. Besides that, I wanted to talk to you guys about. I think that was about it. I wanted to talk about the other core. I wanted to talk about. Excuse me. Sorry, mind blown. About the cave goblins. I had the cave goblins with like 30 cave goblins shooting strength 3 shots, only 18-inch range. They really weren't ever hitting anything. They weren't very ever much in range. And majority of what they were being used for was just to have a bunker for my level 2. A lot of people just pop my mad gets out. Sometimes they pop me out in a bad position where I'm just behind my own lines and I'm just like, I gotta throw it into this building, or I'll just throw it into your cheap chaff or whatever. But what I started thinking about was revisiting the idea of the orcs with crossbows. And for the same amount of point cost as the Madgets, nets, and all that, I could get probably around 14 orcs with crossbows. Now, that's not much. They are only strength 4, so it's only -1 armor piercing. The range is better, though. It's range 30. They are unwieldy. So, I mean, it's something that I'm going to play with for the next couple games to see how they play, more or less. And if they pan out, you know, great. If they don't, oh well, no real big deal there. But they can still bunker the level 2 with them, and if the level 2 really needs to get in range, he can just break off and go his own way, and they can still shoot whatever. I do think that they have a better purpose, and that's one of the things I'm struggling with right now, is trying to figure out what units have what purpose in my army. I already know the Nasher Herd is going to be my staple for a while, unless they nerf it somehow. But the Nasher Herd is a damage dealing unit. It's just, they're there to fuck up whoever comes in close combat. The other thing I really like about the Nasher Herd is that they're expendable. They are 200 points for like almost 30 of them, and that's extremely expendable in an army like the orcs and goblins. The orc horde of Ed Bashers, they are another staple in my army currently. But, I mean, now I'm thinking about just using them more as a tank unit. And then I started thinking about, if I'm going to use a tank unit, I might as well take the Iron Orcs so they get a little bit more defense. Or just taking that Magic Banner again that I used to take, the Mechanox Totem. So that's both things that I'm questioning. I do like Dread on the Wyvern. He has been, like I said, he did really good in the Gauntlet. You'll see it in my videos coming up. He was a very solid player. The mobility is awesome. The flying is awesome. The 18-inch bubble is awesome. And all those things really do change how the generals played in the Orcs and Goblins army. One thing I heard years ago, you guys can hear this right now. This is actually my neighbor. My neighbor plays the harp. Whatever. It's actually nice though. It's very soothing when you're trying to paint. Anyways, one thing I heard a long time ago was one of the biggest things that destroys Orcs and Goblins army, and this is in 8th edition Warhammer, was leadership. The leadership bubble, if it crumbles, you see all these goblins running everywhere, you see orcs running everywhere, and it just falls apart. And Dread being on an 18-inch bubble, it just makes a big difference. It's what I miss about Gorbad. Gorbad used to have the 18-inch bubble, and he was the BSB, and he was leadership 10. Unfortunately, Dread is only leadership 9. Anyways, A-Rock is a great utility. He's a good stubborn monster, hold up people, and he is really good at damage. He excels where others fail. like I said, I'm kicking out the giant. The rock lava didn't do much. The doom divers are actually showing me that they're worth their points again. I kind of felt like they weren't for a while. So I stopped playing with them as much, or I only play with one of them, not both. Their point cost, they go up like in ninth, like you guys know, and that actually caused them to be a unit that's harder to use or justify, more or less, because you're only getting 6 rounds of shots in the whole game if you get that many, because most people try to hunt them down fast. They can clear out cavalry like nothing. They can clear out almost anything like nothing, as long as they get the hit, which are pretty accurate too. As for the forest goblins, solid pieces. And the thing is, one of my, like, you guys watch my videos, you know I play a very character heavy army, and I have a hard time taking out characters because I feel like each character has its purpose. Right now, I play with Dread, which is my general. I play with the BSB, of course, which needed to be for BSB purposes. And then I usually use a level 4 shaman and a level 2 shaman. And that's, I know, again, it's very character heavy, but my level 4 shaman is has been a game changer ever since I've been using Wilderness. And it makes it a lot harder to use, or it makes my magic phase actually a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Useful. It's a very useful magic phase for myself, and it's actually caused a lot of my opponents to actually dread my magic. The level 2, same thing. It's that Shadow Miasma and Devouring Darkness are just a beautiful combo, and if I get minus strength or minus toughness, that's awesome. So those are both spells, and it's hard for me to justify taking out those two, which leads me to just Longshot and Chicken Head as the extra characters. And I understand that they're the extra characters, but Chicken Head time and time and time again has proven he gets to stay in the army. Longshot, on the other hand, he's been pretty up there. He gives me something very useful in the shooting phase. He's able to hit and clip things that are hard to hit, and like skirmishers and like just things that are always in my way, or chaff, little eagles or whatever. He's able to just like get rid of it at the cost of and he could be a very when I use him correctly, he could be a very annoying enemy, because he gets far away. 24 inches on a wolf, he could just run wherever, 18 inches on the wolf and then shoot 24 inches away. I'm contemplating just saying this one's on a spider as well, even though it's on a wolf. I tried to put him, to be honest, I tried to put this one with the shotgun on a spider, and it just did not look right. And I didn't feel like cutting legs off and repositioning them all and all that, especially since he has a peg leg. I don't know if you guys saw that. I'm going to break it while I'm trying to show you. But yeah, he has a peg leg. That's hilarious to me. I just think that's really funny. So, so I'm gonna keep him on the wolf, and if it becomes an issue, I got other goblin characters on spiders that I could always say that's what it is. But besides that, yeah. So. I lost my train of thought there. I was going over the Orcs and Goblins characters. So yeah, I play a very character-heavy army. I know I do. And that's another thing, that in 2,400 points, do I really want to take that many characters, or do I take somebody out? I do feel like the level 2 Shadow is needed, because the biggest thing about the Squigs is the Squigs are great, but they're only as good as their initiative. And if somebody's going faster than them, they're going to die. And there's a lot of people who are faster than them. Their elves are faster. Skaven are faster. So the Squigs need to go first, and I need to make sure I get Miasma off. As for the other units, like I said, I'm going to play with the Ruggled's Armored Orcs for a while, and see how they do. They might not do shit. They might just kill like 1 or 2 guys, but at the same time, the Goblins weren't doing shit either. I could just take Chaff, but I'm horrible at Chaff. I'm really bad at the Chaff game. And then as for the monsters, I really want to take a Avatar of the Green Gods, or whatever, the Idol of the Green Gods. And one thing I was playing with was the idea, because in 9th edition they don't really give you the outline of what your monster needs to be. So I was contemplating, I was at the dojo and I got this. I got an Empire tank, one of the old metal ones. And I was just contemplating taking it, and I don't even know how this goes. Whatever, I'll figure it out. But I was thinking about contemplating taking it and just using it as kind of like a pump wagon style thing, and have all these orcs and goblins hanging off of it, using it. And it, I mean, it makes sense for it to have impact hits. It makes sense for it to have a crush attack, because it's just kind of like steamrolling somebody, and you know, and kind of the reroll for hatred and reroll for everything else. That just kind of makes sense, because they're like, just have one like orc general screaming off of it. I don't know. It's potential. I might not do it. I might do it. I don't know yet. But anyways, tank. Alright guys, I've been babbling for about like 20 minutes, and if you guys like this video, hit like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, I'm going to be making those videos for the Gauntlet very soon. You might see the Gauntlet videos first, you might see this video first. Who knows? Whatever. This is going over 20 minutes, so it's going to chop my video in a portion and come back. So I have to make sure I edit that part in. Or the second half in. Anyways, guys. If you have any comments or feedback, leave them down below. If you have any suggestions on what to change in my army, leave it down below. I'm always up to discussion on what I could change in my army. And honestly, anytime I lose big, I start thinking more and more about what can I change in the army to fix it, to make it more universal, make it I like seeing where the biggest weaknesses in my army is, and try not to make those same mistakes again. And I know I do. Everybody does. But anyways, guys, and hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.